Chicken breast? It became the default protein food for a reason. A single cooked chicken breast can contain anywhere from 25 to 35 grams of protein with very little fat, making it one of the leanest complete protein sources around. It absorbs flavors easily, which is why it works in so many different cuisines: grilled with herbs, baked with spices, sliced into salads, or shredded into soups. Because it's mild on its own, the way you prepare it matters a lot. Overcooked chicken becomes dry and tough, but when cooked properly, it stays tender and satisfying. For people building muscle or trying to increase protein without adding many calories, chicken breast is often the first food that goes into the routine. Eggs. Few foods pack as much nutrition into such a small package. Each egg contains around 6 grams of complete protein, meaning it delivers all 9 essential amino acids your body needs but can't produce on its own. The yolk holds most of the nutrients, vitamins D, B12, and choline. While the white is almost pure protein, eggs are incredibly versatile. Scrambled, boiled, poached, or baked into dishes, they fit into almost any meal. They're also one of the most affordable protein sources available, which makes them a reliable staple for people trying to eat well without spending much. 1 or 2 eggs at breakfast can help control hunger for hours, which is why they tend to work well for people managing their weight. Greek yogurt. The thick, creamy texture is what sets it apart from regular yogurt, and that difference comes from straining out most of the liquid whey. What's left behind is a product with roughly twice the protein of conventional yogurt, usually 15 to 20 grams per cup. It also contains live cultures, which are beneficial bacteria that support gut health. Greek yogurt works as a breakfast on its own, a base for smoothies, a substitute for sour cream, or a topping for savory dishes. The plain, unsweetened versions are the most nutritious flavored varieties, often carry added sugar that offsets some of the health benefits. Full-fat versions are richer and more satisfying, while low-fat options keep calories lower without sacrificing much protein. Tuna. It sits quietly in pantries around the world and tends to be underestimated. A single can of tuna in water contains around 20 to 25 grams of protein, costs very little, and requires no cooking. Tuna is also a good source of omega-3 fatty acids, which support heart and brain health. It mixes nicely into salads, wraps, pasta, or can be eaten simply with a bit of olive oil and lemon. The main concern with tuna is mercury content, which is why eating it a few times per week rather than every day is the common recommendation. Light tuna varieties generally have lower mercury levels than albacore, making them a slightly safer choice for regular consumption. Lentils. They're one of the most underrated foods in any conversation about protein, especially for people who don't eat meat. A cooked cup of lentils delivers about 18 grams of protein alongside a significant amount of fiber, iron, and folate. The fiber slows digestion, which helps keep blood sugar stable and hunger in check for longer. Lentils come in different varieties: green, red, brown, and black, each with slightly different textures and cooking times. Red lentils break down quickly and work beautifully in soups and stews, while green and black lentils hold their shape better and suit salads and grain bowls. They absorb whatever seasoning surrounds them, which makes them adaptable across many styles of cooking. Cottage cheese. It has a mild flavor and a slightly unusual texture that some people take time to appreciate, but nutritionally it earns its place without much debate. A cup of cottage cheese provides around 25 grams of protein and is relatively low in calories and fat, particularly in the low-fat versions. It's also rich in casein protein, which digests slowly, making it a particularly good food to eat before bed as it continues supplying amino acids to muscles during overnight recovery. Cottage cheese works well with fruit, blended into smoothies, spooned onto toast, or eaten plain. Its soft texture also makes it easy to add to baked goods or pasta dishes as a way to boost protein, without changing the flavor dramatically. Salmon. Beyond being a strong protein source, around 22 grams per 3-ounce serving, salmon is particularly valued for its omega-3 fatty acid content. These fats play a role in reducing inflammation, supporting cardiovascular health, and contributing to brain function over time. Salmon has a rich flavor that stands well on its own with minimal preparation. A bit of salt, pepper, and heat is often all it needs. It can be baked, pan-seared, poached, or eaten raw in sushi and poke bowls. Wild-caught salmon tends to have a slightly higher omega-3 content than farmed, though both are nutritious. Eating salmon 2 or 3 times per week is a straightforward way to cover both protein and healthy fat needs in one meal. Edamame. These are simply young soybeans, typically served steamed in their pods with a bit of salt. What makes them stand out among plant-based proteins is that soy is one of the few plant foods that contains all essential amino acids, making edamame complete protein. 1 cup of shelled edamame provides around 17 grams of protein along with fiber, vitamin K, and folate. They work as a snack, a side dish, or mixed into salads and grain bowls. Frozen edamame is widely available and takes only a few minutes to prepare. For vegetarians and vegans looking for protein sources that match the amino acid profile of animal foods, edamame and other soy products are among the most dependable options. Beef, particularly lean cuts like sirloin, round and flank steak, offer a dense concentration of protein, around 26 grams per 3-ounce serving, along with significant amounts of iron, zinc, and vitamin B12. The iron in beef is heme iron, which the body absorbs more efficiently than the non-heme iron found in plant foods. This makes beef especially useful for people who are prone to iron deficiency. Grass-fed beef tends to have a slightly better fatty acid profile than grain-fed, with more omega-3s, south, and conjugated linoleic acid. Eating beef in moderate amounts rather than daily allows you to benefit from its nutritional strengths while keeping saturated fat intake in a reasonable range. It works well in countless preparations and remains one of the most satiating proteins available. Black beans. They're a reliable plant-based protein that also brings fiber, potassium, magnesium, and antioxidants to the table. 1 cooked cup contains roughly 15 grams of protein. Like most legumes, black beans don't contain all essential amino acids on their own, but pairing them with rice, corn, or other grains across the day creates a complete amino acid profile. They're used extensively in Latin American cooking in soups, tacos, rice dishes, and salads, and they hold their shape well during cooking. Canned black beans are convenient and just as nutritious as dried when rinsed properly. They're filling, inexpensive, and easy to incorporate into meals in a way that doesn't require much planning or preparation. Almonds. They're not as protein-dense as animal sources, but they bring enough, about 6 grams per ounce, along with healthy fats, magnesium, vitamin E, and fiber. This combination makes them one of the most nutritionally complete snacks available. Almonds are easy to eat on their own, added to oatmeal, blended into nut butter, or mixed into trail mixes. Almond butter in particular has become popular as a spread and smoothie addition. Because almonds are calorie-dense portion, awareness matters. A small handful delivers solid nutrition without overdoing calories. They also support heart health over time, with research consistently linking regular nut consumption to better cardiovascular outcomes. For plant-based eaters, almonds complement other protein sources well and add a satisfying crunch to meals.